Gorgeous. Okay, we're just going to start raising up the protections. Usual process there, aligning to source, allowing the light of God to recirculate through the bioelectric energy system and start to just move out into any areas of openings within your field and just to seal and contain, whilst amplifying the life force in your body. Going to take a nice deep inhale, exhale, draw it right the way down through the Hara line and really connect it into the very ends of your tiptoes, all the way through the feet to really anchor down into the feet. Inhale, exhale, connecting in earth core to feet, source from heavens down into your body, earth up into your body, and we're going to blend the two together. Just take a moment to allow yourself to feel the impulse of the earth and the impulse of source, the universe, to flush through you. Take it in to soak in through all of the organs, take it in to soak in through the spinal column. And we're going to take it right the way down to the tailbone and up through the spine. Breathing deeply, anchoring awareness. With those blended frequencies rising up the spine, we're going to take it up into the head, down through the shoulders, down through the arms, out through the hands, filling up the inside of your sphere. Getting that life force flowing. Any areas you're feeling stagnation, I'm just going to go ahead and breathe into that. And as we inhale, exhale, expanding the light through the field, we're also going to inhale, exhale, and take it up out of the crown of the head and down through the outside of your sphere, filling your environment, filling your home, or wherever it is that you are meditating right now, just completely filling the space with the life force recirculation of the universe and the earth. Into your environment and just completely blitzing the whole space. You can do this at any time just to clear out your environment and space. Holding your awareness in that space and just allowing it all to shift around you. This is particularly running all through the left side body, tightness through the left side body. Breathing deep into those feet. Okay. So next, inhale, exhale. Everything is moving into an aquamarine blue ray signature vibratory spectrum with geometric flower imprints inlaying through the vibration of the aqua. Allow this to phase in through the body, in through the awareness. And as it connects in, begins to spin and click to reset. Flower of life, line signatures, off kilter, off balance now, reordered, reorganized. Na o kia multiple hiogora, which reconnect the light channels of manifest potential and ever expansive creation connected to the Sophianic flower. And I'm just seeing this reprint itself through the dimensional spectrum from 15, 14, 13 to 1. And then the extension of that is presenting into sound that dances within each of the petals of the Sophianic flower, generating a coding infrastructure of the double diamond sun, imprinting into the body. So we're going to take this sound tone frequency layers into the Sophianic flower, and then I'm seeing this circulate into the consciousness grids that are interfaced through the parallel stargates, parallel Earth, parallel universal stargate, Ecousha matrix, to act as hierogamic binder joins or joiner codes to replicate and shift awareness, shift the consciousness of anti-hierogamic union through the gate systems, reverberating through the planetary waterways. Connecting to the Cetacean consciousness groups, the dolphins, the Yoni whales. And bridging into the amethyst order consciousness, Braharama races, Daniel multiple hiong yakarata yama ai. Sonora otia borashina yama ahanya. Which interface from the mother matrix to the Ecousha father matrix, father arc de Yamotoburiya Sayokora. Present timeline, parallel timeline, interfacing and connecting one to the other, presenting as an X chromosome. It's the only way I can kind of translate this. I don't even know what an X chromosome is, but we're going to go with it, or what it stands for. Okay, so this would be a correction to the gender twin biology standpoint, in which the feminine archetypal currents, the feminine currents haven't been able to run cohesively within our universal structure, and definitely not in the parallel Ecousha father arc structure de Yamata Buddhiyasana Yagora. We have the awakening and resurrection, repair of the X chromosome. Holding space as the high Sophionic flower, light code, sound codes comes in to repair, replicate, and update. Deep-seated anxiety, fear, moving to release. And just flipping back into the parallel universe Ecousha matrix. And as we observe the repair to the X, we just run the observation as we're looking at the Ecousha fragmentation of the father arc parallel, running to stabilize with aquamarine ray, emerald ray running through the universal parallel time matrix. As the emerald ray seeds in and expands, runs to update the fields, the distorted metallic architecture begins to unravel itself, held and locked through Ecousha. High levels of anxiety move to unlock, release. Pockets of control, pockets of threat, and the Eye of Sauron network concealing parts of their negative programs according to secret space program, trafficking networks, etc., black magic grids operating in both sides of the universe, now unraveling as the mother is extending over to expand herself to stabilize the feminine frequencies within that universe. So what you can do from this point is just connect into your own expression held through the parallel universe. And bridge the frequency over to there to run as a stabilizer for life force and expression. Shifting the frequency Acknowledging the fear, and just getting in there and starting to detach layers of the metallic overlays, the artificial overlays, and the artificial structures that are in place through that network, claiming back your right to hold sovereignty within the parallel and within this universe as well. Expanding the right, opening the solar lotus, vertical, scalar, spiral, unraveling anxiety, and creating sovereignty, space for sovereignty. Dana yoki yamata porias na yokora, shino yokore deishni akia. Okay, so as we've kind of opened from the base up within this parallel matrix, we need to just connect into the core point intercept, which is, I suppose, the cosmic clock between the higher heavens and the lower heavens. And as we run the sound tones in our universe, we're going to run the sound tones through the parallel higher heaven to interface back down into lower higher heaven, or sorry, lower parallel universe. As the sound tones come in, holographic light imagery projects through the parallel, unknotting the pockets of information situated around the eighth sphere, And as we kind of trace this back, what I'm being referenced in this moment as we run light through the eighth sphere is a kind of memory bank. And the further back we go, we're coming to the era or period before there was any damage, before there was any invasion, and before any kind of level of collapse or control, which presents to me with a state of deep, unconditional peace. We want to bring that unconditional peace up to the surface, clearing out any kind of fracturing, fragmentation that kind of consists down the line after invasion. And the presentation that I'm being given here is that of like an anglerfish, one of those deep sea fish with really sharp, scary teeth, as the invaders. So we just do the light wash with the peace, deep, deep, deep peace. Shifting the frequency and drawing the memory to the surface of this is what it was before any of this happened. This is how it felt. It was peaceful, it was relaxing, it was unified. And as we access into that history as well, we're also bridging into that of an Edenic coding, a very, very, very perfected kind of Garden of Eden creation before any mishap. And we want to draw those codes forward and just start seeding them in to the timeline trajectory of the parallel. I feel like there's also a kind of re-encryption to the elemental compositions as well. A little bit like the Aurora re-encryption project. And as we become aware of that, the deep fractured miasmic tones locked through the elemental bodies move to the surface. Purifying out the parallel universal dark matter template corresponding with the father arc system, father current. Expanding and opening space for the noble masculine to rise. which is essentially preparing aspects of the parallel universe for merging with the current universe. Mother arc to father arc. Okay, cleaning the channels from parallel to R1. Rich gold light moving into the templates. Inhale, exhale. Crystalline pastel blue light tones of the cosmic mother, rich amethyst tones of the cosmic father. Another variation is emerald and ruby. Interface and intercept. White and gold. Hiragamic union. Bonds. Sacred marriage codes. Holy sepulture. Imagery. Oppositional polarity forces. Move to connect or reconnect. Allowing all that thick black tar just to make its way out of the energy system right in front of us and just dazzling it with light. Completely opening out the liquid presentation of black tar. Anxiety release. Okay. Aquatic races, underwater beings, and the family of the Holy Father, including the digress templates, are kind of stepping before us now. And as we look with this big reconstruction that's taken place through the parallel system, we're just going to update that through the Amethyst Order families. all through the mer people. And just interface that as we connect into the waterways, seeing the consciousness reform and rehabilitate itself, rebuild itself. Dolphin sound tones reverberate through the field, activating the Ark of the Covenant key codes, tethering the essence to the sphere of Amenti. Creating the bridge through the Ark of the Covenant portal passageway. And rehabilitating the consciousness as it moves to and from in between, exchanging the information of the sphere. Neutralizing any expression of force, any expression of control. Any heavy grey, black tones, fragmented geometries, dark satanic imprints or Luciferian imprints that have been landlocked through the Holy Father consciousness or the digressed Father consciousness. And looping back through with the Ark of the Covenant codes activating, illuminating and engaging with the fire codes, DNA activation and light replication, hexagonal grid structures updating, genetic information correcting, miasmic underlays, infills, and hijacks draw to the surface. Whilst being illuminated by the sun, the sun-star networks. Bridging through Ascended Master capstone codes to interface through the essence, through the memories, creating the stair-step pathway to the higher dimensional fields. Let's take it nice and slow and really just allow this to unfold. Any areas of fight, any areas of chaos, resistance just coming right the way to the forefront, allowing it to be, as this is the layers that we don't need to hold on to anymore. Compact fight, flight responses, electricity through central nervous system, moving to be seen. Once again, scanning and breathing into the feet, into the lower back. Higher dimensional expression, higher heaven expression, stepping down and moving into the body to take up space as to where the miasmic tones were before. Each have their own unique expression, stepping in, allowing to anchor back down into the body and move to embodiment. Now, naturally, what will come with this over the next couple of weeks will be an unfolding of awareness around this highest expression moving in and getting to know yourself in that field aids in the integration of it into this reality. Okay. Next imagery, holographic realm, presenting crystal cathedral layers, solar logos, light, architecture, prayer sequence, prophecies updating, and within the cathedral, a vow or sacred decree to God, commitment to God, and service to others. Recoding the lower body, the genetics, and the cellular memory to access and hold the frequency that is being presented to you in this crystal cathedral. Hydration, very much needed after this session. The reptilian mind moves through metamorphosis, the shedding of the skin, and from the shedding of the skin emerges a butterfly expression of crystal diamond light. As the butterfly shines with the solar sun, this extends outwards and interfaces through the many expressions of self aligned to the downward spiral or the descension spiral, and begin the interfacing process to lift the hearts to the surface of these expressions. So this can bring on some kind of emotional purging and challenging of one's belief systems as to whether this still aligns and whether you know yourself in the process. Through the commitment to God, you are guided through at all times. Vertical alignment, resurrection of the tree of life. Ruby, indigo, violet, magenta gradients of light extend up into the vertical, and gold, white gold, pale yellow across the horizontal expression. horizontal axes, allowing these to interface between the two, absorb the light through these layers. And we're just going to expand this light back out into these descension aspects, or these descended aspects, to challenge the self-worth and challenge the belief that one is not enough or is not worthy of being uh, brought up into the kingdom of heaven in your form, or for them to experience it nonetheless. Triggering grief, unworthiness, as we recognize self-worth in our shortcomings, in our old behaviors. Tiakari masmana yokora. And just inviting the flow of God to move into these aspects. For the carbon to move to crystalline, to move to light. Na astiakari yamata puriyasana yokora. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and inhale, exhale, draw the essence back up to the surface to sit back in the crystal cathedral, allowing the blessings, allowing the baptisms, the renewal, and the expression of Christ, one's own highest expression, to move into the aspects as they reformulate a layer upon layer of rebuilding the diamond heart. Connecting to the frequency of unification, even if it is a feedback loop system to the fragments. It's still something. It's still creating a unified flow. And we want to bring that unification flow down into the physical environment, into the physical field. Connect it into the solar plexus. Expand it up into the heart crown, the high heart crown. And we're going to anchor it into the sacral and the root. We're going to update through the rod architectures to present the unified coding, the unified structure through the rod for the mental body awareness to understand what this is, what this looks like, how to achieve it, and how to anchor it within this universe to feed back into the parallel universe so we can flow with consistency and cohesive, unified nature. Which is correcting the coding, correcting the awareness, correcting every level, every layer. I'm going to go ahead and update through all fields, update through all localized grids, update through the breadth of the Unisi source field. And nicely, gently, when you're ready, you can bring yourself back into the present. Thank you all so much for coming today. It's been a pleasure working with you. Loads of love.